Welcome to Crafty Compulsions. My name is Valerie and I'm so glad you could join me. Today I'm going to be showing you all of my completed coloring pages for January 2025. It was a huge month for me. I did 40 coloring pages and I have 2 work in progresses to show you. I completed 1 coloring book and the biggest news, we are at 100 subscribers. Woo, yay. I am so excited. Yay. I did a happy dance this morning when I saw the 100. Wow. I wanted to take a moment and thank you so much to everyone who's been subscribing and watching and commenting and helping to grow my little channel here. Let's get started. Yay, this is my favorite. These are my favorite videos to make and my favorite videos to watch. So I hope you enjoy them as much as I do. Okay, so first we have Home Sweet Home by Teresa Goodrich. This is the first page I did in Home Sweet Home. I really like how it turned out. I went back and used gray building and red roof. I did this a lot in Village Charm. If you haven't seen my completed flip through, be sure to check that out. And on this page, I used Crayola Twistables and a little bit of Uniball Signo silver gel pen for some accents on the flatware and the basket, just a little bit. This is the next page I did in Home Sweet Home. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers and a little bit of Artisan silver paint pen for the fireplace here and the handles on the candles and the border as well. And I'm not super happy with how this turned out. I think I did a really nice job with the fire. I'm really happy with how that turned out. And I was going for kind of a patchwork quilt here. I think my color choices are not the greatest. And I liked where I was going. So probably like that half of the page I kind of like. But anyways, oh well. Then we have a couple pages in Magical Jungle by Joanna Basford. This one was a work in progress for a little while. I think I had started it before December, before the holidays. And I had done the teal color and maybe a little bit of the light purple. My original intent on this page was to mirror the colors from the butterfly on the facing page. But when I came back to it this month, I ended up with kind of a lime green color combination here. I'm not sure how that happened, but I really like this color, and you'll see it pop up in a couple other pages from this month. So I used Prismacolor Premier pencils and Uniball Signo silver gel pen for some dots. It appears that a lot of the sparkle from the gel pen has rubbed off from the texture of the black matte paint on this side. Now the next page I have is this one, and it's a bit of a hot mess. We can't love them all, right? Yeah, I started with the pineapples. And I love how I did the leaves on the pineapples. I like my little butterflies. They're with dollar store silver pen. Dollar store metallic gel pen. The rest is Prismacolor Premier pencils. But I am a bit disappointed because this is my favorite Joanna Basford book. But, it's a completed page. We could look at it from that perspective. So Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rosanas, and I have this is a work in progress, the first of my 2 whips that I have to show you. And I used Derwent Inktense activated with water as a base for what you see here already. I intend to go over it with Prismacolor Premier pencils, add a little bit of shading. I'm really happy with this ruddy brown color I was able to achieve by mixing a couple of different pencils together. But, and I'm, it's a good start. And the Inktense pencils were really nice on this paper. It's like barely wrinkled at all. Mystery Mosaics, book 15 by Mindware. So I did this cute little kitten in a cup, and I really like how it turned out. I love this mosaic book so much. I hadn't colored in this one for a little while, and you'll find out why I'm back in this book in a couple minutes. And we have this one. I think the greens are a bit off. The colors of the greens I chose didn't give the desired effect. I looked at the back to see what this is supposed to look like, and it's not quite the same. I used Prismacolor Scholar pencils with a couple of Crayola pencils just to supplement a little bit. And this is the next one. I used the same thing here as well. Nice big double page spread. These books come with 4 double page spreads. So this is the 3rd one, and I have one more left to do, which is the next page. So I'll be working on that in February. Really like how this one turned out. Nice little cabana on the water. Mangatopia, Tiny Kawaii by Liv Wan. And I did this page here, this cute little puppy in a purse store in a purse. And this was just a nice little happy page. I think this was my first one that I did of the month. And I used Ohu alcohol markers and a little bit of Uniball Signo silver gel pen. Cozy Christmas by Coco Wayo. Had to sneak in one more of these pages. The paper in this book is just so lovely to work with. And I'm sure I'll be bringing it out again. Maybe some Christmas in July pages. This is the one I did this month. Santa cleaning up his attic, putting away his Christmas decorations. Although maybe Santa has his Christmas decorations out all year round. I don't know. And I just used my alcohol markers, nothing fancy, just straight block coloring. It was just a nice, fun little page. Again, I did this one right at the beginning of the month. Mystery Mosaics, Color by Number, Dazzling Scenery by Maximus Prime. And this is the book that I completed this month. I bet you were wondering which book it was. Well, maybe not. I do have a completed flip through of this book on the channel, and you're more than welcome to kind of sneak over there and take a peek at that picture. So I'm not going to show you too much in here. I did 17 pages, so this was about half my month was in this book. I'd done a lot in December, and that kind of carried over into January, and then before you know it, I only had a couple left, so I just went ahead and finished the whole book. So I'll show you kind of a really, really quick flip here. I used a variety of different mediums, and in the completed book flip through, you can see me detailing what I used on all the pages, each and every page. Okay, so there's a quick flip of this one. So then we have Autumn Coloring Book by Jade Summer. So I did this page, a little bit of a muted color palette, a different technique for me. So I use Prismacolor Premier pencils for everything except for the border, which is Artisan Silver Acrylic Paint Pen, as is the lettering. The gold is Folk Art Metallic Gold Acrylic Paint, and the black outline of the words and the black outline here was the Artisan Acrylic Paint Pen Black. So what happened here is I had tried something with the background and the lettering of this piece, and it didn't turn out as I wanted. So I painted over it with the gold paint and then rewrote the lettering on top. Instead of trying to go around the letters that were already there and try to fix those as well, I just thought, let's just paint the whole thing and I'll just do some cursive writing on top. So I'm actually really happy, despite that mistake, with how it ended up turning out. I used some more muted Prismacolor Premier pencils, and I made an effort to actually go over that black line work, even like the stems, with the Prismacolor Premier pencils. So you can see the difference between here versus this one, how black the lines are, and then this one is much more softer. So it gives a very soft effect. It was a good kind of experiment to try. We have this page. Here comes that lime green color again. I was enjoying that. So this page I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the grays and the background. I went over the background with a like 90% gray Prismacolor Premier pencil. The flowers and pumpkins and inside the window panes, those are Prismacolor Premier pencils. I did not go over the frame of the door, so that's just the alcohol marker. And then the border of the windows, that's the Artisan Silver Acrylic Paint Pen. So then I have this little page. It's a work in progress. So this is my second whip that I didn't finish. And this was from a challenge in a Facebook group for January. And they gave us 2 color palettes from the Sarah Renee Clark color cubes. And they said, try to color half the page with the pinks and half the page with the blues. So I wasn't able to finish this page yet, but I really like how the bird turned out. So I'll keep working on it into February, and we'll show it to you when I complete it. So I used Ohuhu alcohol markers to base the whole page, and then I used Prismacolor Premier pencils on top of some areas. So the pumpkins and apples, I did just a little bit of shading. The leaves around the outside here, I did do coloring on top to try to smooth it out. So I don't love how it turned out, but yeah, you know, that's the way it is, I guess. Cute and Magical Coloring Book by Alexandra Frenzies. So here's a griffin that I colored using Ohuhu alcohol markers and a little bit of Prismacolor Premier pencils to try to add a little bit of shading. Here's the phoenix that I colored. I went with a cool color scheme as opposed to a fire color scheme. I used Prismacolor Premier pencils for the phoenix itself, and the background is Folk Art Matte Acrylic Paint, and I used some soft chalk pastels and white Signo gel pen to add a bokeh-like effect on top. Here's our little gnome character. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for this page, and I was coloring this page during the color and reflections tag video that I did. Be sure to check that out if you're interested. This is a werewolf. I colored it with Ohuhu alcohol markers and a little bit of Prismacolor Premier pencils for some shading, similar to what I did for the griffin. Here's the genie that I colored. Again, I used Ohuhu alcohol markers for the genie itself, a little bit of Prismacolor pencils for the tail. I had kind of a neat effect going on with this, and then when I added the background, it sort of distorted this, so I had to change it a little bit and lose that effect, but that's okay. I used Ohuhu glitter markers for the sparkle. And in the background, I used folk art matte acrylic paint. I mixed this color of blue using white and blue. And then I used some soft chalk pastels to create a bokeh style effect. And I used black Artigen acrylic paint pen to fix up the border, and the genie, put the black lines back in. I'd kind of made a mess with the paint, so I had to either get rid of all the black lines around the genie or put them back in. So I chose to kind of put them back in, and that's where the tail kind of lost its kind of ghost-like effect that I had going on. But now that the page is finished, I do enjoy it. So we have this little dragon next, just hatched out of his egg. I used Prismacolor Premier pencils for the entire dragon, and then I went over the top of the wings and the spots and the eye with folk art extreme glitter paint or glaze. So we've got, I think this is like the Sandman, puts sprinkles sand over the children so they go to sleep. This one I had been using my Derwent Inktense pencils and experimenting with those on scrap paper and such. So this is the first time I tried them in a coloring book. So I put them down as a base, activated it with water, and then went over the top with Prismacolor Premier pencils. And I did try some outlining with the Artigen acrylic paint pens to cover the black lines. I'm not sure I really achieved that effect, but I did try it in some places. I also drew in this ground and colored that in just so it didn't look like it was just a floating lily pad. You can see I used a lot of water on this page. Definitely a little bit of a learning curve with the Inktense pencils, but they are so fun to use. So we have our Sasquatch or Bigfoot, and I based this one with, again, Derwent Inktense pencils activated with water, and then I went over the top with Prismacolor Premier pencils. And I was kind of experimenting. I know the color of the character is a bit, I don't know, it's not exactly what I wanted, but that's just how it turned out. Combination with the Inktense and the pencils. I only have a little set of 12 Inktense, so I have to try to blend them and mix them a little bit to get some other colors. Anyway, we have Flying Pig. I did this one early on in the month. It seems a little splotchy if you can see that on the video. That's just from the page that I was coloring on. The plastic that I used, I forgot to clean it, so it pulled up some of the alcohol marker from the last project. But I think he turned out really cute. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers to base. I used a little bit of Prismacolor Premier pencils for some shading, just a little bit. And this is the folk art extreme glitter glaze or paint for some sparkle. Just on the tips of the wings there. And on top of the eyes, after I had colored it, I used the white Prismacolor pencil to try to create some translucentness of the lenses. And I think that effect turned out not bad. I'll keep practicing it, trying to learn some new things, right? So there's the completed mushroom house. Be sure to check out the Color With Me series. It's 4 parts. I think most of the parts should be up by now. So that's my completed coloring pages for January 2025. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a great day. I'll see you next time. Bye.